We welcome in Annie Young, the head women's golf coach at the University of Tulsa. And even though it's a little bit nippy out right now, Coach, you're ready to go. Your first tournament is coming up on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, we're excited to finally get on the road. It's been last February, so it's been a while since we've been able to compete. And yeah, it's nippy out, but the girls have been practicing hard.
I bet they're ready to go and certainly chomping at the bit, because it was almost a full 11 months since you've actually participated, in any sort of competition. However, it's an outdoor sport. So how have the young ladies been able to navigate COVID and stay sharp?
Right, so we've been able to practice. We practiced in the fall. We weren't able to compete, but we had girls going to individual tournaments on their own. So they've been doing that. I feel like we've had some good practice. There'll be nerves when we tee it up for the first time, but I feel like they're ready.
Lorena's saying her last performance was a win, and she's been so good for you. Now she's a junior, ready to go. How has she continued to improve?
She took the things that she needed to work on, and she really addressed them over the break. You would see, if you're not a coach around golf, you would say, well, she's just good. She doesn't need to really work on anything, but she worked on the little things. I'm really excited to see her compete, and she just matured she's a great teammate. But she also, she's ready to get out and compete too.
And you have a couple of seniors, Taylor Dobson and Haley Greb. Taylor, of course, a program girl. She's been here all 4 years, and Greb transferred in from Colorado State. So what about those two players and their progression?
They've come a long way too. I picked up Taylor a couple years ago when I just got here, and she's improved a lot. She's a hard worker. Haley Greb, she's not going to be outworked by anybody, and I feel like she's made some big strides over this break too. So Haley's going to come back next year for her COVID years, we like to call it, but she played for me at Colorado State and transferred in, and it's just a good group that's willing to work hard.
Yeah, and you have a couple other players that certainly are going to be very important for you. Tita, and we're not even going to try to pronounce her last name, young lady from Thailand, and then Lily Thomas. So those two are going to round out your top five.
Yeah, both of them are great players. They have the ability to shoot low, so it'll be fun if they can get comfortable and get out there and compete again. And Lily, I think, has really improved over the break. Tita, this will be her first event, and so, I know she's nervous, but it'll be good. We all play together in the tournament. We're not playing with other teams, so we'll, hopefully be able to help her out a little bit.
Yeah, in a situation where that's a different format, and is that because of COVID or?
Yes, absolutely. So they just don't want us to be exposed to other teams, and fortunately in our sport we're able to do that.
And when you're in the midst of and maybe this is the first time you've done it like this, but when you're in the midst of something like this, how do you keep track of kind of where you are now, because you're not matched with other teams?
Yeah, you really don't focus on the other teams anyway. They do live scoring, so if you want to check that out during the round, you can. I don't do that a whole lot. I think the biggest concern is that our players, that they don't get worried about what their teammates are doing, because you don't see it normally during a round of golf. Now they'll get to see it, so they just need to really focus on what they're doing and not what each other's doing.
Yeah, and the Trinity Forest Invitational in the Dallas area, and is it a good field?
Great field.
Okay, tell us about some of
I think there's 5 or 6 Big 12 teams there. We've got some, I think us and SMU and Memphis will be there. Baylor's there, who's ranked #1 in the country, so we'll get opportunity to knock some good teams off.
Yeah, and then you have a couple more tournaments. I mean, you go pell-mell. I mean, one every week for the first couple of weeks. Is that the design you wanted, or?
I wanted us to play as much as we could, but also the way scheduling is, some tournaments drop, some tournaments we aren't able to go to, and so we kind of had to take what we could get. But if you ask the team, I think they're pretty excited that we get to play a lot of events right away.
Yeah, you have the Texas State Invitational, and then you go to Las Vegas. So I mean, you'll get busy, and then of course March, and then in February and then March you get even busier, right?
Yeah, so we have kind of two big times. So we play 3 in a row, and then we have a little break, and then we'll play a couple in a row, and then we'll be getting ready for conference. So it'll be good that after the first 3 we can address what we need to work on and have that time to do that, and heaven forbid they do school, right? So they'll get ready for all of that along the way as well.
Annie, as you approach this third year, where's the program in your eyes in terms of, you obviously had the jaggedness of COVID and that sort of thing, but where's the program?
I think we're making strides. It'll be interesting to see how we open up. My biggest goal is let's get better throughout the year. We've got some great recruits coming in, but we want to make the most of this year. Great recruits coming in for next year, so we're just going to keep building on what we've done.
Yeah, and these are young ladies that you've signed, so you can talk about them. Sydney Siegel from Arizona, and then Lovisa Gunnar from Sweden. So 2 really good signees.
Yes, very good. So Lovisa was the first we got. She's from Sweden, a lot of national experience. She's a very good golfer. She goes to a golf school in Sweden, and she'll be a great addition. And then Sydney was a late add. Coach Michaela Tapman, she found her for us. She watched her actually when she was recruiting at DU, and we haven't been able to go and recruit, but she said, hey, this kid's good and we need to talk with her, and we're really excited about what we got.
Now, obviously recruiting is different because of COVID. Did the tradition, the history of TU women's golf help any in that regard, since you can't really get in a lot of in-person visits?
Yeah, I mean, kids, they don't know a lot about TU, so we make sure we tell them about that. What helped was football doing really well. They got to see TU on TV all the time, and that didn't hurt us, that's for sure. Right. But yeah, we tap on that. We've got great facilities. Our golf courses are really, really good, and so we make sure we tell them about those as well.
Well, the season is upon us, so good luck. Have a good trip to Dallas, and we'll talk to you after.
Thank you.
Annie Young, who is the women's golf coach at the University of Tulsa.